some of you may have already noticed, I see at least one in the chat. There is a New Mexico pride emoji. Now, emote. Fuck. I'm gonna spam it a few times. Because we love our New Mexican... We love and support our New Mexican brothers and sisters and thems. Yes. Oh my god. Send all your love to Carol Sturka. She needs it. This game hurts me inside and I don't like that. Yeah. We're in for a real one today. I am going to be playing the Beginner's Guide, which I've played before. I love this game. It's a very interesting game. It's basically a walking simulator, but it's like one of the best walking simulators. I put off streaming it for a very long time because I kind of thought it almost felt wrong to stream it. And I think, you know, to anybody who hasn't played it, I will not be spoiling shit. I'm not gonna like act dumb about things, but I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. But it's a game where the second time you play through it, when you have the knowledge of everything that happens in the game, you see it with new eyes. I guess I've never replayed it, but I'm assuming it's like that. But I decided to rip the band-aid off and just do it. I love this game. I'm happy to share it with other people. We'll see. It will become apparent as I play the game why there's a bit of an ironic note to that. But first, Horser Dub has made another beautiful... This is an older... This was made a while ago. I was just saving this for a game that I felt warranted it, because it's such a cool... I like these little animations. Real-life animations that Horser Dub makes. That bouquet in the background looks so much like the one that Bella held at our wedding, too. Maybe it's the same one. I did throw it away, so maybe Horser Dub fished it out of my trash. I'm pretty sure this art came out before we were married. So, Beginner's Guide, if you're interested, play it. Take my word for it. It is a good game. It's short. It's about an hour and a half long. I did not realize it was that short. In my head, I felt like it was like maybe 3 hours. And then I looked at my playtime of it on Steam, and it was like 83 minutes. I was like, damn, well, that's part of what made me want to stream it. I was like, oh, that's an easy stream, because I was kind of like, oh man, like, I don't want to do like a 3 to 4 hour stream of just like emotional devastation. This game had some hokey shit to get it running. It was kind of annoying. It crashed on startup numerous times. Should show up any moment now. There we go. It was a huge pain in the ass getting this game to run properly. It would just crash to desktop when I opened it up. It would say, like, the production company, which I think is, like, Everything Unlimited Limited, which is a great name. It would, like, say the production company name and then crash. And apparently this is a common problem, and apparently this just hasn't been fixed. It's something to do with, like, the number of cores in your CPU. Which, it's crazy that a walking simulator has issues running on, you know, a computer like mine, and it's crazy that it hasn't been fixed, but whatever. I had to, like, do the thing where I went into, like, the like, advanced options for the game. It says launch options, and then I really like this. It says advanced users may choose to enter modifications to their launch options. And I just typed -windowed, and that opened it in windowed mode, which somehow worked, and then I was able to go into the options and turn it to the usually best option of borderless windowed. Anyway, I've heard this game has themes of acceptance. Yeah. Did you see that thing? There was somebody posted a picture that was like, it was like 5 YouTube comments in a row, and it was like, bullshit, destruction, death, anger, rage. And I was like, it's the 5 areas of Majora's Mask. So anyway, play this game. It is definitely a game that you can be spoiled on, I guess, but I will be playing along within the realm of like believability here, because it's kind of the same policy I took with like Silent Hill 2, where I knew a like late game plot twist in Silent Hill 2, but I just sort of shut up about it because I didn't want to ruin it for other people. I'm gonna try to make sure the volume's at a good level. Let's just go. And buckle up, because this is a crazy game, and this is a kind of, like I said, kind of devastating in a way. We'll get into it. I have a lot of...
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon.
Hold on. Turning it up.
That game tells a pretty absurd story.
Hold on. Restart the level. Sorry.
Today, hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Captions? I can do that.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Nice, like, Wind Waker texture.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood.
I'm gonna see if I can, real quick, turn on captions here. There might not be captions, am I crazy? And I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. We really want to be able to hear. So yeah, you heard that right. Stanley Parable. This is by the creator of the Stanley Parable. Beloved, award-winning game, Stanley Parable. Audio settings. Oh my god, but that's a video setting. Okay, thank you. I'm stupid. Okay, master volume. So, just while I'm paused here, I don't remember like how constant the yapping is, but the yapping, this is an enormously yappy game. That's the game. Kind of like a Whack Games, huh? Doesn't this kind of already feel like a Whack Games stream? Enthusiastically showing bizarre creations to someone else, and it's so opening this and having it be a Counter-Strike map was very like, whoa, like I just wasn't expecting that. Of course, Valve is very chill about this sort of thing, but I was kind of taken aback by that, and it's like, yeah, that it just feels so relatable and real, you know?
This image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
That texture.
In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at DAVEYWREDEN
gayben@valvesoftware.com.
at gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction.
I thought I
Let's
went
take a
through the
look
door.
at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Yeah, the captions aren't working. I'm hoping they'll pop in now. Did I not apply? Shit, I didn't apply, did I? Full captions? No, I applied. Whisper machine.
Whisper machine active. Shift instruction imminent.
Hitting R does
This
that?
game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic
I'm gonna turn it down a tiny bit.
games you'll see from Coda.
There we go. Captions are up. The level design is very Quakey, Half-Lifey. The shitty, quiet weapon sounds. Yeah, top of screen captions. You don't see that a lot.
Security hull breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
I think
It
nothing
kind of looks like
shows
this
up.
game was abandoned
Yeah.
mid-development. For instance,
You know, okay, this kind of reminds me of Space Bugs. Do you guys remember Space Bugs? There was somebody who like sent me a, and this was, you know, I'm not meaning to rag on this person at all. It was very cool, but they sent me. They were like, "Oh, I've got like a student project or something." And it was like a demo of like, you know, a sort of half-completed game. This reminds me of that a lot.
you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Yeah.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
It is really, I mean, this is a Whack Games game. How do you guys feel about the audio? I mean, right now there's like epic music, which I feel like won't be happening in a lot of this game, but there is music.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Wonder what happens if...
Or if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all.
It's Alex.
That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
There's the maze.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda
No, it's not. It's a bug.
identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system, Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Yeah, I remember this one super clearly. You can't move forward. We played Control, I'm Not Coming Back recently, which was kind of a disappointing game, in my opinion. And it had a whole thing where, like, you couldn't go backwards. In this one, you cannot move forwards.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
The past was behind her. I feel like I reference that sometimes, just that sentence. The music in this game is great, by the way.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Ooh. I think this picture is on like the promo stuff for the game. This is like the icon for the game, I'm just realizing.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Feels good to be able to move again. By the way, this is not a scary game. This will never be scary. I remember that too. You are now entering. I don't think there's a follow-up sign.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Oh.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Am I getting slower? Yeah.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
I was still moving.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Some of these are pretty fun ideas. I like...
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that
Game filled with chairs, but one chair is floating is the fantastic game.
it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
You run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically to make the most money before you die. More Half-Life. Looks like you're in the barrel today, Freeman. What does he say? You're in the bucket.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
There's very minimal puzzle solving in this game. Hold on. Excuse me. I believe I have to lock myself in this room. Oh.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
I remember these dots, too. I mean, I remember most of this game quite clearly, frankly. It left a big impression on me.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Whoa.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing.
Portal 2.
I actually find it
looking
funny
ass.
that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Go back here. Somebody said, like, this is the thing that lets you, like, cheat at Minecraft. Yeah. You're now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Ooh. Psychonauts.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Ladders.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making.
Hold on.
You might
I'm gonna
consider
explore a
paying
little more.
attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I think in my head when I first played this, I always thought Coda was spelled with a K. I know this is like the most meaningless commentary. But I was like, oh, like Koba from the Brother Bear. Now I see it's like a musical Coda. I don't think this game is very rich in like secrets that it doesn't just outright show you. But maybe it has some. There's like fall structure. Really nice, like ambient track. I love this song. Never like listened to this soundtrack on its own, and this is kind of making me want to. It's very Aphex Twin. Maybe that's not very apt. I'm not a music guy. It makes me think of, what is that song called? Stone in Focus? There's the YouTube video of it with the Arctic monkey in a hot spring. I think I could probably just plummet all the way down here. There's no fall damage, it seems. Yeah, I see a thing. This shit looked like the Flipendo Challenge. It's like, if I'm already sinning by streaming this game, I might as well give it the most dog shit commentary you could possibly give it. I considered making the title of this stream, The Stanley Parable 2, which also would have been just sacrilege. I think that just opened. I heard something squeak. Yeah. Jail. Just like instantly popped into place.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
They unironically did this in The Big Walk, by the way. I guess slight spoilers for The Big Walk, but that's just a bit in The Big Walk.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
He said like in the narration and did not transcribe it. Shitty game. Cool looking room. And there's those dots. I think this is what outlets look like in Europe.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I think the first time I played this, I had not played Half-Life or Quake, and now it's like the influence on this like level geometry is very clear to see.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard
like the Gmod chat. Yeah, all of those things. I'm choosing 2. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. The middle one turned to be listening. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. And I guess I just can't. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. Got a little fire and a hearth. Man, I wonder if that's legible. Not a chance. No way. How did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? Go with 2, I don't know. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Music's kinda loud, huh? Sorry if that's drowning me out. Sorry, Bella got home.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
The music is even overpowering Davy Reedon's voice, frankly. It's the famous lamppost. This is also all over the promotional material for this game. And this is such a, like, liminal space. This seems almost based on one of those famous old liminal space pictures.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Lower Undead Berg level geometry, somebody said. Oh yeah. All notes you see are left by other players. It's like Dark Souls. I love, like, it's like Fargo, this is a true story. This game is connected to the internet. Nice room, not. It's like a developer commentary node, and have fun.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection.
Balls.
I felt as though
Balls.
he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Define fun. That feeling of like making something, and if the, like, I don't know, these comments that just at any point in the map that doesn't have something like even slightly interesting, like that beginning room, the guy goes, nice room, not, and then it's like, oh, you know, after people get over it, it's like people go, whoa, holy shit, and then it's like the excitement dies down and people are going, boring, you know, I'm just walking around. It's like sometimes I'm making a video and I'm imagining like an audience member watching it, and it's like, oh, you know, if I have 2 or 3 seconds of non-interesting footage, people are gonna get bored, you know, I can just hear, it's like you hear the notes in your head. There's an acorn somewhere here in this place and the sailors are looking for it. What? Yeah, comments on SoundCloud during the boring part of the song. Hey guys, sorry to keep a lady in waiting. Some of them are like sunk into the ground. Butt-ass butt. And like the anxiety that there will be many people who will not take you remotely seriously. I mean, I'm a comedian, but you know what I mean. Don't listen to that guy. Liar ahead. Door stuck. Door how open? Open sesame. Makes game, includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. I will be reading all of them. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Whoa. I wonder if the ones that we cannot reach have anything attached. Doesn't that seem like Coda's MO? Cabbage shapes our nation. He's saying what we're all thinking. It doesn't matter if you can get over there. It's like it's responding to me. Don't listen to the other notes. None of this is real. Yeah, some of them are considerably taller than other ones, and then some of them are like buried. Ethical. Just like this stream, nice and ethical. I saw, like, in the Steam community, I saw a person walking down there, that's fun. Nice little creepypasta. There, in like the Steam community forum for this, I noticed that there was like a review of the beginner's guide, and it was like, this is the most impossible game to write about. Which I totally understand. Devil Tower Star. Devil Tower Star. Am I playing Connections again? Stop faking it. Hey guys. Stop pretending you are other people. Devil Tower Star, what does that mean? People be leaving the same messages. I must read all the notes. The fact that this is all Coda talking to himself obviously is revealing. I beat the game. Yippee! There's clearly a lot more.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
The whispers. Isn't it the whisper engine? Become one with the spiraling nonsense, True Detective?
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
How do you leave notes? So what happens to Coda?
Tough. It's gonna
Keep watching.
kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Oh. How do you guys feel about the audio? It seems a little loud to me, but how do you guys feel? I want to hear opinions. It's good? Okay. Lovely brushed concrete texture.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Really is like the back rooms, the furniture dissolved. Put a giant hole in the ground. What? Let's put a huge picture of a horse. This is what you get. We have a table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? Tables were invented in 1935. No? Oh, well, you know what? Oh.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
This part makes me think of Fight Club.
So, okay,
you know what I mean?
He throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
There's a note. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. Click on a table. So those dots. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Flick the light switch a few more times because it didn't feel right the first time. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Just like ruined the feng shui in that room. Return.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work.
You can't get to it.
Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
This game is very House of Leaves. I mean, when we were going through the labyrinth earlier, I was thinking about that, but also just the sort of meta-narrative aspect. Seems like people are digging this so far, which is good. I like this game a lot too. Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. It's kind of time fuck.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Yeah, this is time fuck. No, I think I'm the first person to call back. My camera's locked, by the way. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? No, go touch your furniture. It will make sense. It's my reassurance to chat about this game. Oh, I'm sure it already makes sense.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Yeah, I remember this one pretty clearly too. By the way, there is a stream of the Stanley Parable. I made Bella play it. Look at this reflection texture. It's like clearly an interior, right? With like a door on a wall. I made Bella play it because I had already played it, and I feel like Stanley Parable, it's pretty important to play that game blind. This one somehow less so, because Stanley Parable actually has gameplay, but there's a playthrough with Bella playing it and me kibitzing on the side
occasionally. To me,
occasionally.
this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Quite a cozy place. It's kind of messy. Clean. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. Right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
You just gotta tidy up. Still not super straight. I guess it's aligned. It's aligned with this wall. Nope, never mind. It checks out. It's just an oddly shaped room. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Clean. No. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Would that it were so simple. Oof. But whenever I see textures like this, I'm like clearly colored girls. Like these are real books. I'm like, I wonder how many of these you could identify. Edward. Time something. Looking for House of Leaves? No. Wicked Thief. That's a popular book,
After the
right?
intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
The dishes are back. Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. Also, cleaning never ends.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Let me clean. Anyway. This is the remaining 30 minutes of the game.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But
Do you
of
enjoy
course,
this?
It can't last.
Ah,
The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
the wall just vanished. There's our buddy.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Can definitely see the 3D modeling and environment design getting better. Came here to become perfect. College student anxieties. You can't really tell, but this guy's head says talk. It's a little aliased out. Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
The void. Screaming. There's one listener.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
It's a crazy visual effect. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. It's interesting that some of the text is yellow. I don't exactly understand why. Just like yellow is like continuing the lecture. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? It's like you have to, it's like you're fighting off your intrusive thoughts. Holy shit, you guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out!
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way.
I just
and
noticed the light
completely
post is
miss
there too.
all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Moving forward in time a bit, gradually.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to
that
make.
same furniture.
It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at
Yeah,
the
I
time.
remember this one. Ladder. No. Fake source engine. There's not a janky ladder. Ah! Ow. Places, everyone. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. This is like the wall that SpongeBob and Squidward sleep next to in the Exploding Pie episode. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Starts DMs with hello. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all my hopes and dreams. I'm super, super scared right now. The lights are so blindingly bright. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There are a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. They're bumpers. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? Everything. They make a little sound. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Happy. Wise. Try stepping back from the stage. This is the cage. This is what happened to Big Hat Logan. Okay, yes,
The game ends
now
with
this is working.
Eerie premonition of what's
This
going
is
to
what it
happen
was like.
next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But
This
what can you
too
do?
is Pink Floyd's The Wall.
After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
It's so The Wall. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. I really like that scene, and I like that effect of like the blinding stage lights and the gates coming down, and it's like with each additional gate, the light fades just a tiny bit, but it takes so many gates to truly block it out. It's a really great bit. All right, I guess I am going to play along with this. I don't remember this bit. I'm so tempted to open my eyes, but I'm not going to do it. I don't know. Maybe you eventually have to. I'm playing along, but Davey Reedon, please release me. Maybe it's a trick. Maybe it's all a big dastardly trick. Oh. I don't know. I don't know. I've still got my eyes closed.
You should probably open your eyes
Okay.
if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Okay.
And there is a solution, by
Help,
the way.
I'm blind. Ah, the door. Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. What's going on? Jesus Christ. Ah, fuck. Quiet and help me find the shields. Ah. You guys aren't supposed to close your eyes. Can't die like this. Ah. This too is Space Pugs. The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Oh.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
It's like you've woken up from the previous game almost. Ah. Sorry, I guess I'll voice this. Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Are you medicated for ADHD? Oh no, what's happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped, or I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. And again, we're like progressing by like saying things, just like the last game too. The textures on these trees, brother. Oh, okay, it was like a level of detail jank, I see. I was like, Coda, bruh. You have to take me to it.
If the
Tree that
last
isn't
game
properly in the
featured
ground.
Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs
I hit
of struggle,
3 and he said deal.
frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet still he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Now just press the switch here.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. You're lying now instead of telling the truth. Ah, that feels wonderful. These are all the dialogue options I selected, by the way. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. It is easy. It never stops being easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. That's wonderful.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
These are lines from all the other games we've seen.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Please continue. I promise this will work. It always pays off eventually.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Yeah, the presence of female crying and the woman on the couch there, and the past was behind her. Yeah. Yeah. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. The machine, finally. I'm going to be put into it. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Pose for the fans. No, not right now, guys. Not a good time for that. Will we get to see the machine? When will we get answers? What will you do with it? How did you capture the machine? I remember you.
And of course, it's the machine.
Looks like it's got like a cooling coil, like a refrigerator almost. I don't know anything about electricity or electronics, but you stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. Oh, the machine! Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? How about this for a start? You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. It's not responding. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. All right then, I will speak to them for you. My followers, my Twitter followers. It falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. My oomphies, my chat. Let us pay it retribution. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Whoa. It like turned me around. Back here. And gun! Oh, and it's the same gun, too. I remember this quite clearly as well. Still got the fucked up sound effects.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Can't move. Oh, look, the light is up there. Put down your weapon. Is this the machine talking?
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Miasma Tower. Alright, yeah, here we are. God, it's funny the flashing, my monitor's doing that thing because the flashing of the gun was happening for so long where it's like flickering in the shape of the gun. Alright, here we are.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
Invisible maze? Ah. Oh.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
We see these textures in the Stanley Parable as well. I wonder if I can disable it? No.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Remember when he was like, you have to keep moving on, you can't stay in the dark space and just tidy a house forever? Well, only because he changed it to be that way.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Fuck. Blah, 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 blah. Loading zone in Portal 1.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time.
Some of you are going to get jump scared hard by something that's going to happen at the end of this game, by the way.
And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing.
There was an extra space between trying and to patch the game.
For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And
Hasn't even mentioned the 3 dots yet, until now. Were they there and I missed them?
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
That was a different line reading than the one that was in the Heaven Studio thing. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Do you see why I said streaming this game almost seems unethical? Just wrong. It just feels wrong. It's almost like, obviously it's about Davey Wreden, but I feel like almost like I'm exposing like a weakness, But maybe that's...
The people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Showing them to people against my wishes. Violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. Would you simply let them be what they are?
And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
This looks like the past was behind her. I do hope that one day it
I'm
clicks.
afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And that you do make peace with this thing you're wrestling. And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Darkness. Donkey Kong holds a barrel alone in the darkness. It was like the door was getting closer and he had to tell it truth. Somebody said relating to this is cool and fun. I agree. By the way, Zapper Part 2 coming out soon.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Gonna find, like, the Voldemort fetus. Dumbledore's gonna show up.
Harry Potter, you have a parasocial relationship with Coda. Harry Potter, you need to go to therapy and seek help for your obvious savior complex.
Am I supposed to be able to do something here? Ah.
Solution.
Okay, now this shit look like Bully.
guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
My Twitch chat is proof of that. This also evokes an image I've just like seen around, sort of famous image. I don't know where it comes from. Framed picture of just nothing is awesome.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now?
I'm not even sure if this is meant to be a Coda game. I don't think it is.
I think I need to go.
This is Davey Wreden making a Coda game.
I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
You gotta pass through all these. The hole. It's like I'm in a grain silo. This area kind of reminds me of one of the endings in the Stanley Parable. I don't think it's like the same architecture or anything, but the like credits, where they just show you the credits and a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff. But it's like very likely not to be the last ending you get, which is funny. I think Davey had to learn to just stop talking for a second. It's the beam. It's the whisper engine. Somebody said, "Did we do something wrong, Grapefruit? Why are you streaming this?" Nobody did anything wrong. I relate to Davy in this narrative, personally. I don't feel like a Coda, I feel like a Davy. But is it even right to call myself a Davy? That's what's so messed up about it. I wonder how this effect was achieved. It's really cool looking. It was a glitch. No, it was a bug.
Turn back.
For R. I hope I don't get copyright claimed for
Back
this.
from this cave.
I forgot about 4R.
You said, let me
This project would not have been possible without the following individuals.
Let me keep going.
I recognize none of these names, unfortunately. Actually, is Richard Flanagan? That name rings a bell to me.
And miles and miles.
That's loud music.
And you're so
Sorry, 1 second. Rami Ismail? Rami Ismail. I know that name. Who is Rami Ismail? Chat, someone Google that. Yeah, it's one of Vlambeer. I have his signature. There you go. Yeah. So, Coda's not real, right? Like, Coda's probably not real. There's some sort of outside information about this game that can sort of help put it into context. Now, of course, why that person was like, it's impossible to write a review about this game is because, I don't know, this game clearly is very meta and clearly has a lot to say about the idea of looking at other people's work, trying to read a person through their work, and inserting yourself into that work. This is basically, the beginner's guide is about why you shouldn't make Undertale yellow. Sorry, that's rude. That's just a little joke, though. It's like, my big takeaway from that, basically, is just that you can never really truly know someone through their work, and you might never be able to truly know someone at all, and it's almost like perverse or presumptuous to think that you can do that and that you have that power. It's a fine line to walk too, because like people who make things want them to be evocative and want them to mean things to people, but in plenty of ways I think people, you know, make things for their own creative fulfillment. It's kind of like you see the character of Davy, who is a real guy, by the way, Davy Reedon, who I hastily went to Wikipedia and I was like, still Davy? Still he, him? Okay. And I know that's like, saying even that is like, dude, you just played the beginner's guide and now you're speculating on this sort of shit. But there was just a lot of stuff in the beginner's guide where I was kind of like, but then again, is it even fair to read a person like that? Maybe I'm reading into it. It was all planned from Davy Reedon's conception. It's like, am I pulling a Davy by even saying that, you know? So it's very difficult to sort of talk about this game. Now, there are some supplementary materials. If any of you were affected by this game, I would encourage you to read. I will link it in the VOD, and I guess I'll link it in the chat right now too. There's a great blog post from Davy Reedon called Game of the Year, and it's basically just a very short essay, very, very short, just a little blog post about Davy Reedon's emotional state following the release and immense success of the Stanley Parable. And there's a little comic that goes along with it too. And I wouldn't presume to read it out loud to you or show it to you because, like, come on. But it's an interesting read. It's a great read if you'd like to check it out. And yeah, I really love... So something I really love about this game... So I linked that in the chat, by the way. Something I really love about this game is the way it really... Like, how many of you thought Coda was real? To be honest, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I thought Coda was real. That beginning part where it's like, I'm Davy Reedon, I created the Stanley Parable, which is a famous game that you probably have heard of or played. Most likely played if you're playing this. Here's my email. You can contact me about this. I am assuming that's a real email address. And also the little touch of reality that it's a Counter-Strike map. It's like a modded Counter-Strike map. As like, here's my first digital interactive thing that I've created. That just felt so real and grounded. Oh, voice cracks. And it that did such a good job, like, hooking me into this story. And then it's kind of like, over the course of the story, you kind of go, is this real? And I love having that realization that, like, I got, like, duped. I got duped, but it's a really great meta-narrative, and it means so much to me. Yeah, this game means a lot to me. And I think it's like, I want to look respectfully and not try to read into Davy Reedon as a creator too much, you know. And again, that blog post and that comic really will put some extra perspective. I read that like last night, just to refresh my memory before playing this. And there was so much stuff in that game where I was like, oh yeah, Coda's not real. This is Davy Reedon's like therapy session. But who fucking knows? Maybe Coda is real. Maybe there was a person whose name wasn't actually Coda, because who the fuck names their kid Coda? And also just that I like the name Coda too. It has a sense of like finality and moving on, and it's like those are things you kind of see in Davy's bastardized versions of Coda's games. And it does say 4R at the end, which I don't know if that's ever been elucidated. But you can definitely see why maybe this game would make me a little uncomfortable. Like it's, you know, whack games. I mean, just like, oh, I'm here to enthusiastically show you an interesting, obscure, janky walking simulator that I've, like, put myself into in a weird way that maybe isn't, like, super healthy. It's almost like this game is like the biggest advocate ever for like the death of the author. Because it's like fame isn't natural. Like fame and popularity, the way that humans have it in modern society, isn't like real or natural in a sense. And what I got from that blog post and that comic is just this idea that like fame and having your work validated or scrutinized kind of drives you insane. And it's like that feeling of like releasing something that you kind of feel is a part of yourself to thousands and thousands of people. And one thing that particularly struck me was that one with all the little comments everywhere, where it's like, this game's connected to the internet. These are all comments that people left. That one really hit hard for me, and I was kind of talking about it during, but I didn't want to talk about it too much. Just that feeling of like a million, it's like Whisper Engine. Is the Whisper Engine like just the voices, like all those millions of voices that give all their, oh, everybody's giving their take about the Stanley Parable, blah, blah, blah. I like it for this reason. I dislike it for this reason, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, you just go insane. It kind of seems like I've never had that kind of success, obviously. But I've felt that on sort of a microcosmic level, even with just like stupid shit that I've made on YouTube, you know? So yeah, it affected me, and I think this game affected a lot of people. It is a really, really great game. That was an extremely pleasant replay too, even though it's such a like, you feel so icky by the end, and it's like, oh, that fucking part where it just blatantly says, Davey, please do not talk to me anymore. Please, stop sharing my games with people. Stop modifying my games. It's like, oh, and it's like, you can just, like, since I kind of like, yeah, Davey's like kind of a shitty person, but like I related to him so much, his character, you know, in the game, that just, it felt like a, you know, a knife, a knife to the heart. So really, this game really affected me, and it's really special. And, you know, Stanley Parable, also a great game, but obviously for totally different reasons. I wonder if anybody went into this expecting, like, a funny game and came out, like, crying. So, yeah. I apologize if our parasocialness ever becomes uncomfortable for you, Fruit. It's fine. So far, I can handle it, but there are psychological effects to even, like, micro-celebrity fame. There was a bit in one of the in that comic where Davey Wreden says, like, it's not the press's job, it's not everyone else's job to like dance around my insecurities, you know, which is also true. It's like, this stuff is yours, you know. At a certain point, you have to own it, right? Stanley Plappable. Okay, I think that's all the time I got today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Anybody rateable? That was a nice breezy, I love, you know, it's funny because this is almost word for word something that fucking Davey Wreden, the character, says in the game. I love that game too because it's so short, and it says so much in such a brief amount of time. Whoa, my own voice. Jerma playing The Sinking City. It's funny, Northernlion's been playing this sausage game. I saw that game on Steam just recently because I looked up Getting Over It ripoffs, basically. I looked up like Getting Over It and I saw that game in there and I was like, oh, this looks like some shit Northernlion would play, and then he did play it. That's part of, by the way, part of a script that I'm working on. Speaking of like creative burnout, I have learned that I am really, really good at writing scripts and not good at editing together the videos and recording the scripts and doing everything else. I think I'm effective at it when I make myself do it, but like writing scripts just feels fun. And then like the rest of it I kind of have to force myself to do, and that's like that room where it was like, being creative and making games is fun and exciting and energizing 100% of the time. It's like you're lying to yourself, you know. I felt that one too. Anyway, script about what? I mean, that one in particular is about the idea of like derivative video games, which is sort of a hot button issue these days. Let's see, what scripts do I got? I have so many. There's actually so many. You know what else was like really heartwarming and cute in that game was the room full of ideas for games. That was I liked that a lot. Top 10 games of 2025. I've already started writing that one. I have a Tainted Isaac guide script here. How many pages is this? Only 4. I have a Tainted Isaac guide that never got made. Hold on, Google Docs is being slow. Derivative video games. I have a Legend of Zelda series retrospective that I wrote when I was like 20, and I'm 30 now, which is funny. I've got the House of Leaves script is here. The Zapper Part 2 script. I've got a Mosalina guide that exhaustively goes through all the different tools. I just never made that, but I wrote a whole script for it. There's a video about John Blow, the guy who made Braid and Witness and that other game whose name escapes me. That's not quite out yet. I think there's a big demo, but the full game isn't out yet. I have a script on how to enjoy old video games. I have a Gimmick video essay that is about the points system in Gimmick. That I actually did quite a bit of like research and like testing for by like modding Gimmick. That one might still get made. I have one that's it's not very long, but this one's called Elegant Design versus Bad Players, which maybe I'll make it someday and you'll understand what that means. There's a lot. The achievement video, exploring regional differences in video game difficulty. Yeah, there's a lot of them here. Some of them are unfinished, but there's a couple of them that I could just make into a video if I like really put my mind to it. Anyway, but I'm really good at writing and maybe not even finishing scripts. Everybody knows the first part of the creative process is the most fun. And then it's like, oh, fuck, now I have to finish like 90% of the creation process. Sure, let's rate Jerma. What the fuck ever. He's been streaming just weird shit lately. And I like that. I mean, I like that Jerma has always kind of streamed just weird stuff. He did like a full playthrough of Look Outside, which was the most unexpected shit from him. But I'm glad he's got games that he's willing to stream a lot of. I kind of feel like a lot of big streamers like him and like Vinny are kind of averse to doing full playthroughs because the viewership just drops off so hard over the course of a long series. Speaking of which, Majora's Mask, we're going to do more of that, I think, next stream. So let's go raid Jerma. Thanks for watching, everybody. A bit of a weird stream because I couldn't really talk very much because Davey Reedon was talking the whole time, and then whenever I got a moment to talk, I couldn't really say much about what I was feeling in that moment because it would have been quite spoilery. So I hope that people who went into that stream not having played the game got to sort of experience the twists and turns the way that you should. So let's all go over to the Sunk City.